Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to episode 9 of RogueCast, your dedicated Rogue Company podcast and one-stop shop for all your weekly news, updates, exclusive interviews and clips of the week. In today's video we're going to go over everything that has been going on this week in Rogue Company, including some hints towards future balancing changes that look really exciting, and then we have an interview with JesterLine Studios. I am your host Radar, let's get into the RogueCast. In the news this week, we've seen lots of changes being hinted towards in terms of balancing that look really exciting for the game, and included within this are some potential map changes that are going to come on towards Canals and High Castle. You can see the different changes on screen, but what they're trying to do is open up certain areas, close off certain areas, add additional cover, or completely restructure little bits of the map so that we can get a bit more of a flow from it. Because particularly in some of these maps, they're either one side heavy or the other, and they want to kind of balance that out a little bit, which I really like. I like how they're looking at the map specifically as things that they want to balance, not just weapons and rogues. They're also focusing on the maps, which I think is a really key part. Although that doesn't mean that they're ignoring weapons and rogues, and we have some more changes coming up with them. The first that we know about is the Nightshade change, which is Vi's assault rifle, which honestly is a bit more of a glorified submachine gun with a little bit extra range. Well, now they're changing it slightly, so it adds 1 extra body shot damage at all ranges, which will help give it a bit more of a kick over time, because you do have to hit a lot of bullets with it. And also they're reducing the bloom on it, so it's a little bit more stable, a little bit easier to handle for us. They've also hinted towards changes to the DMRs, which I think is going to be really, really good. We don't know the specific change they're going to implement, but DMRs are really solid within the meta right now. They're really taking over the meta, so a little bit of a nerf to bring them back down to speed and let the ARs and other weapons kind of pack more of a punch is going to be really good. Last patch they removed 6 cents from the game because they didn't think it was a particularly valuable perk and certainly not worth 10,000. Well, they're kind of doing a similar thing with Headstrong, which they think is a bit lackluster. They're not removing it from the game, but they are adding a massive tweak to it. Now, currently within the game, you gain the additional 25 health, but if you're shot, you lose that health permanently. Now you're able to repair it, not regenerate it, go in uninterrupted and repair it to gain that additional 25 health back, which I think is a really good change. It actually makes this kind of worth getting now, as opposed to it being kind of like a late perk if you have to sort of thing. It's actually going to be really good and really going to help the strikeout meta as well. There's also been some talk about changes to certain rogues, namely Glitch and Trench. We don't know the exact changes that are going to happen to them, but I'm going to imagine it's a Glitch buff and a Trench nerf, just given how strong they are currently within the meta. Glitch is a bit weak, Trench is a bit strong. They just try and balance that out to make it a bit more even for everybody. But with Rank just around the corner, they are continuing to add more information to us, and now we know from a teaser that we're going to be getting ranked rewards from playing the ranked beta here while the game is still in open beta. And the last piece of news is a little teaser that we got for the 2v2 mode Wingman from Scott Gandy via Twitch. That sums it up for the news. I'm now going to take you on to my interview with Docframe and Frequency from JesterLine Studios. I hang out with these guys every Monday, and Docframe I hang out with throughout the week as well. They're fantastic guys, really, really good entertainers. They put on a fantastic show over on their Twitch channel, and I think you guys should definitely go check them out. But you'll see what they're all about here on this episode. Okay then guys, joining me for episode 9 of RogueCast are 2 of the members of JesterLine Studios. I'm joined with Frequency and Docframe. Welcome guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys? It's morning for you, it's afternoon for me. Right. How are you guys doing?
Good. Doing real good.
Good. Awesome.
Alright, I'm just a little tired.
Just a little tired because you never sleep, Doc. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you introduce yourselves and give me and the viewers a little bit of an idea about like your gaming history. So what got you into games and what kind of games you play at the moment?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Is it Age Before Beauty?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. So my name's Jared Ramsey. I go by Frequency here at JesterLine. I am the owner, one of the owners of JesterLine, located in Buchanan, West Virginia, in the States. And my history is dates all the way back to the early '80s, actually, from the old Commodore 64 computer. My grandfather actually purchased one. He was really into tech. Most of his life. I mean, he was always intrigued by it. He would have the latest and greatest, when it came to a camera or the first microwave, which took 2 people to bring into your house. So that tells you, what we're talking here. And then all the way back to the first VCR. But He introduced me to the Commodore, and the first game I played was Jupiter Landing, and I was hooked. And being 4 or 5 years old, seeing something that you can control, right there from a keyboard, was super intriguing for me. And then that same year, Atari 2600 came out, and it was pretty much, a done deal from then on out. And then, of course, lo and behold, 3 years later, NES. First NES is launched, and so gaming for me has been around forever. I mean, like I said, I can remember all the way back to 5 years old. So then, just evolving with it, evolving with gaming. Your Super Nintendo, your N64, and then in there you had some TurboGrafx and Sega Genesis, and you started to get a feel for what different organizations, companies, developers are doing, what they're trying to achieve, how they're trying to get better. But then you have then you have your friends, of course, that bring them into their homes as well and start trading games, trading cartridges. Hey, try this out over the weekend type of thing. And it's kind of like a book club for us, but interactive. So that's my start. That's how I go to. And then today, choose your weapon, basically. I'm playing anything from still playing a little bit of GTA all the way to Rocket League, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 I've been playing on a little bit. Big fan of that series. So it's just kind of a feel thing now, whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever my friends are playing or what we can get into, and it's kind of nice having that variety.
Nice. And Doc, what about you?
Mine's not as elaborate, I don't think. That's actually really interesting. That's the first time I've got to know that about your early childhood in gaming. It's pretty cool.
So you're bringing us all together.
Well, see, he's just a few years older than me, so now you're getting ready to see the generation gap because I started off with the first Super Nintendo. Okay. And actually, before that, it was arcade games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had a family member. He actually worked for a place that rented or leased arcade games to various businesses and things like that. And he would repair them. Well, whenever a new one would be broken, he would bring it to the house and repair it for 2.5 weeks, and I'd be playing it every single day.
So you were a tester.
He was the tester.
Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 were pretty much owned by me, and so was Tekken 1 and 2.
Brilliant.
And that was like when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
I had a bar stool in our den, and I was sitting up there playing Mortal Kombat for hours on end.
Very childish.
That's the earliest I can remember of my gaming. And then, of course, like you said, Friends. Friends was a big thing for me. Of course, I had the Super Nintendo, and I went from that to a PlayStation, and then PlayStation 2, and then I developed this hatred for Sony and went to Xbox.
Nice.
Pro Xbox.
Pro Xbox.
But after the first Xbox, I actually went to PC. But I bounce back and forth and still do. On Xbox 360, I jumped into the competitive scene with Call of Duty Black Ops. Of course, before that, I played WoW for years. Just jumped around on that. But the competitive scene was the big thing for me because that's when I got into a gaming community. I got in with Exile Gaming. I started out as a peon like everyone else. But then worked my way up to General of Easy Company, and I think it was 3 teams underneath of me that I had formed, and one was Team Deathmatch, one was Search and Destroy, and one was a free-for-all.
Wow.
And our Team Deathmatch team actually went to MLG, and I think it was 2008 or 2009, and I was a running gunner. I ran left flank, and we didn't finish first or anything like that, but just the fact we got to go there was pretty epic. But awesome. The biggest part about all that was the community, and going back to what Jared was saying, the people you meet doing this, you would have never had a chance to meet otherwise. And I think right now gaming for me, when Jared and I met, we started playing Rocket League. You know, I came in on a Rocket League tournament, I believe, and I was doing art for him. I'm a graphic artist, so I knew nothing at all about Rocket League, and I don't know anything about soccer or what you call football.
Yeah, real football,
or the rest of the world calls football. You know, whatever. You know that thing. But I knew nothing about either one of them, and you know, he taught me a lot about it just by watching it. I learned a lot about it, but that's community to me. You know, and then I learned to have fun with that game, and now I'm actually pretty decent at it and could be competitive if I wanted to, but no, it's gaming now is purely community in my eyes. I mean, that's what it is. You know, at my age, I see my kids, you know, I've got 3 kids. I see them coming up wanting to play games like I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to ease them into seeing what gaming really is to me, and that's community. You know, like how Rogue Company right now, that's my main focus in competition right now is Rogue Company, and the community is super chill. Yeah, everyone I've met, I mean, you have your toxic ones, and I thought when they went free to play it was going to get super toxic. but no, it's actually
it's been all right. It's been all right.
It's maintained its chill vibe, you know.
I get to float around the 2 communities quite a lot, like the one that isn't as nice and the ones who are, and so I can dip myself into the nice one as much as I want, and I like to shelter people away from the other people because
you're naturally pretty toxic.
I mean, I am, yeah, for sure. I just go around teabagging people. You know, people watch my streams know that. That's a joke. No, I don't. Awesome. Yes, Anvil main 24/7. How has that then developed into JesterLine? Talk to me a little bit about the starts of JesterLine and what it sort of stands for.
Oh, wow. How long is this podcast?
Loaded question. Let's go.
Exactly.
All right. So the best way to probably have this make sense is to give you some history on how this concept came about. So in the late 90s, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I had my first shot at playing more online. I started out with Duke Nukem 3D, Quake, and things like that. And so I have a friend who went to college actually here in Buchanan that we would connect online playing Quake. And it was the first time that he and I actually teamed up, and we got our way in what used to be called clans. You know, I don't think we're allowed to use clans anymore. Yeah. So back in the day, they were called clans, and so that was a turning point for me. It was like, wow, you know, they finally did it. You know, there's ways now to connect, you know, clear across the planet basically to where everybody can play, and you know, of course, it was the thing. I actually missed the whole Halo thing. I mean, I really, I don't know where that gap is. It's kind of hazy for me. I mean, like I said, I was going to school and, you know, trying to look for a real career, things like that. But at the Art Institute, I actually went to the path of game design, and I didn't really stick with it because at that time, 3D animation was big, Toy Story was big, and that's the route everybody wanted to go. Everyone wanted to be a 3D artist and make you know, Pixar films and things like that, which is great. I mean, we wouldn't have what we have today and a lot of the animations and a lot of the games that we have today. But I was really more intrigued with more of the hardware, you know, what it takes to get these things up and running. And so I since have become an IT professional in my field. And so I started my track on just making sure that I could evolve with the hardware technology and some software. And so 2015, JesterLine, the concept came about to where it was, hey, let's start researching LAN centers. LAN centers were on the rise. Over in Europe, they were, you know, everywhere from what we studied. You know, there was barcades, there was, you know, LAN centers, and, you know, all the way over in Korea, where they were 24/7, 365. You know, you can't find an empty seat in the house. So then my wife and I actually researched LAN centers for an entire year, just kind of watching the market, seeing where they're going. And where we live on the East Coast in West Virginia, it's not common. This is not something that is, you know, readily accessible. It's not really a lot of arcades are still around. They're fading. It's, I hate to say this, but it's a little bit of a dying business, pumping quarters into a machine. But you still have your handful that are out there, and people still gravitate towards that because they want to be able to leave their home, go to a place, meet up, congregate. So what we wanted to do was kind of, if you would, bring that modern arcade feel to our area. But of course, like anything else, it was a risk. Number one, it's starting a business, but it's also starting a technology business, which is doomed right out of the gate because you're obsolete in X amount of years.
Yeah.
So we actually, JesterLine was a 3-year project, believe it or not, and we actually established it in 2016. And with the idea that we're going to grow on this and just, kind of watch ourselves. We don't want to run ourselves into the ground. Have to be very careful with what we're doing. So it took quite a while to find an investor. It took a little bit to find, opportunities for lending institutions to believe in your product and, ask the same questions. Why here? Go to bigger cities. I don't understand it. What is this? What is online play? Yeah. Are you sure VR is going to be a thing? So what I did was I'm the risk taker of the family. I'm the one that, doesn't like the word no. I'm the one that doesn't like you can't do this. So of course what I did was my wife actually built the business plan. We did this together. And so we came up with the idea to bring JesterLine, which is a facility in Buckhannon, West Virginia, under 5,000 square feet that has 4 sets of technology. We have the esports gaming, we have tournament console gaming, we have virtual reality, and we have interactive play for the little kids. So we have 3D cameras that track their movement, and of course they can kind of jump around, bust the virtual balloons and chase the unicorns and all that happy stuff, and kind of gives mom a break a little bit. Yeah.
I haven't got to do that yet.
Yeah, I know. You haven't got. We kind of keep that away from you.
Yeah, he's big kid at heart.
So like I said, it's bringing gaming to the community. It was bringing it to a community that was, there's a lot of folks here that understand it, but there's a lot of folks here that needed to be educated on what it is, and it's been a wild ride. I mean, like I said, all the way from 2019 when we opened doors to today, I mean, we still have people coming up asking us what this is, what are we doing, how has this come about? We've had people come in asking where they can bet on the horses. They think it's video poker, and
nice.
And I love those questions because it's like, well, we're not, but I see where you're going with this. I like where your mind's going. But when they leave here educated on, wow, this is a real thing, because I've seen it on ESPN, I've seen all these individuals on YouTube making bukus of money, and is that what you guys are doing? Well, no, we're bringing options of gaming on all platforms to you. You have now the ability to come here, by yourself or with your friends and play. Here's, come here, make your decision before you go buy that title for, $60-$70 or whatever the case. And, and build some friendships. And, you want to join a team? Well, let's start a league. Let's do some tournaments. And having that option available has been great. And you've seen a lot of people, kind of get more ideas on, how can I approach this title? How can I get better? How can I? And what I love about JesterLine, me personally, is everything's neutral. You come here and all the machines are the same. All you have to do is bring your best game, bring your best talent. Yeah. And it's nice seeing individuals grow of all ages. I've had kids come in here, play. I've seen them play StarCraft for the first time. I've seen them play Fortnite for the first time. But then I see some others that come in here for a tournament and they clean house. They're very good at what they do. And they're just like, man, where have you been? Well, I've been home, and it's just like, well, great. Why don't you come on out and have some fun with us? And they do, and I love just the community. I love building the next generation of gamer, and that's what JesterLine's really all about is just, having a place where people can come and do what they do best.
No, I like that a lot. So is there anything that you say you would do in terms of promoting that, in terms of like outreach? Like, do you go into schools? Do you work with schools or kids? Like, how do you find, you talk about the next generation, do you work with kids? I don't know, if so, kind of what age?
We want them all, honestly. And what I mean by that is we'll have, I'll give you an example. We've had an individual come in here that his game of choice was Fortnite. and but he had this little brother. The little brother would always follow him around, type of thing, and he'd want to be like his bigger brother. And we just sat him up in the chair, and we're like, here you go. There's no limits. Learn. That's what this is for. And we'll sit down with him, we'll coach him a little bit, and just give him his time. And give him comfort. But they were the type that they only had one computer in the house. So when Big Brother was on it, Little Brother was not able to do anything.
Yeah.
So here you've got options. You've got the ability to sit beside him and and go. And that was an eye opener for us is giving those folks because here and in a lot of other places it's not common to have multiple gaming machines in one household.
Yeah.
And and the internet. Some of the internet in the area is not outstanding by any means, and we're blessed to be able to have that option to be able to host 20 machines with no issue, where people can come in, sit down, and still have great bandwidth, and like I said, a neutral machine, and that has the power to push what they need to play and have that competitive edge.
Yeah.
So but going back to the original question, yes, we're actually we've done Minecraft overviews and tournaments, and we've done Fortnites, and we've done some other areas where we're branching off to wanting to take esports into the schools because they're ready. Esports is on the rise to be competitive, and why not a better option than to prep them for college, because there's collegiate teams. And so that's our drive right now is to bring awareness, to say, hey, we've been here, we've got some knowledge under our belt, and we're ready to bring it to your school, and we're ready to train your coach, and any questions that you may have, and here we go. Let's expand on this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go on, talk.
One thing I'd like to add to that, our youth, that's our future. Okay.
Yeah.
Gaming's not going away. Technology's not going away. Right now I feel like the world's ran by this generation that's just not comfortable with it. They're not comfortable with the change that's coming. But, we're at an age where we were caught in the middle of it, and we had to learn it through school.
Right.
We learned to enjoy it. We enjoy gaming. We enjoy technology. Both of us do in our own ways. And I feel like prepping our youth now is going to make our lives better in the future, because they're going to be comfortable with it. They're going to think it's okay. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm not allowed to play my game today, that kind of thing. I don't want them to have that mentality. I look at my kids and I'm thinking like this. And then when I came into the picture here at JesterLine, that's one of the things I loved instantly about it, is how, like Jared said, they're focused on bringing those opportunities to the youth.
Yeah.
And one thing that I offer here, and I just started recently, is actually teaching the youth, like graphic art, how to actually operate a machine, like Windows, because some kids just don't have that opportunity.
No.
And I want to be able to give any knowledge that I have to the youth, and that way, whenever it comes time, they can get into college. They may be able to jump right into esports. I just want to bring opportunities to them I never had.
Yeah.
Like I would have never been able to do any of that.
I think what's helped with that is where we've been at that pinnacle point where we've watched the industry evolve. Yep. We've watched it expand. We've seen things that didn't work out. We've seen things that made the cut, and then after that you have some groundbreaking technology. You have some, when N64 came out, that was a big deal, and rightfully so. And then of course the industry wanted to gravitate towards that because it was selling, but then it evolved again from that, and then so on. And now we have that option as parents of ourselves to be able to kind of say, hey, here's the history, here's how it came about. Try this, and let's see how you do. And now we've become the teacher, and it's neat. It's a neat little way to not only introduce, but to watch the next generation grow with it as well. But now they know what to watch out for. They know what to look for. They need to see, like, okay, well, I would love to see this change in a game. Well, it probably will. Just give it time.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think I come from an educator background. So I used to teach kids. I say used to, I'm not that old. I'm 22. So I, in the recent history, taught kids. I like that message of helping the youth because they are so adaptable, and you know they want to play games, and you know that giving them the right medium to do that and learn it and teach them to balance everything with that, I think is amazing. I really like what that stands for, and I wish I had something like the JesterLine Studios there in like my local town or my local city to go to and play it. I've never still to this day been to a LAN center because I don't know how popular they are. Buddy. Yeah, I'll go play ticket. I mean, because I could literally just hop across the channel to Europe and go there. I know there's a bunch there. I know that obviously they're now popping up a bit more in the US. They're not super common here, particularly like only in the major cities. So I wish I had something like that on what you guys do down where I am now. But going into sort of the esports side of stuff, what's your like connection with esports, and how do you want to use the JesterLine Studios and JesterLine to feel into esports a bit more?
So, like I said, following the market, and like I said, we would turn on ESPN esports and just see what's active and what people are gravitating towards, or what ESPN chooses to show. And of course, you can't go through a whole segment without seeing something either on League of Legends,
of course, yeah.
or which and the respect is there. I personally, that's not what I look for, but I get it, I understand it. I enjoy watching competitive matches because they're intense, and I think that's what people want. And what I love about the esports market is and I may get in trouble for saying this, but it's no different from any other sport.
No,
I know that is a big, to do to talk about, but it's at the end of the day, it's strategy, just like any other game. You have to know the game. You have to know your next three moves. It's like chess. It's there is a winner, there's a loser, and then when you start involving teams, I have to rely on my teammate to make sure that we achieve this goal. And you talk about it and you train for it. And again, I think that's another reason why we came up with the JesterLine concept, was to be able to, and now involving coach, which is another one, is you have a college right in our backyard that has a team as well, and he's excited to find the next generation of esports competitors. And so for us, where can we expand on it as well? If JesterLine turns into an arena, great, we win, everybody wins. We want to stay up with the industry to follow the rules. We want to know what the next game that's hot, that people want to gravitate towards. And again, I think that's why I personally am excited about following more on what Rogue Company is actually going to do.
Awesome. That was the next question. Yeah.
And the reason why is I look at Rogue Company as a particular title that is mixing not only other styles of game, but the same concept, the same rules, but in a way that is easy to learn, makes sense, and still fun.
Yeah.
But like I said, my hat's off to High Res, for them to watch their history, to see what they've been doing. I had an employee here that loved Smite, still does to this day, and Smite was always. It was not well received here just because people didn't understand it, and we always gave them a little bit of, some ribbing and some hard time about, why are you playing Smite, man? No one plays Smite.
Never.
Well, but the thing is, people do play Smite, they just don't play it here. And like I said, once you start to understand that, and you start to see other areas that play it and where it's popular and the type of crowd that it gathers. But then for High Res to go in the direction of Rogue Company, it's like, wow, that's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
That is amazing that you guys are going this route. But look, it's not a knockoff. It's not a copy of something. It's a mixture of something that's healthy.
100%. Yeah. It has really good vibes between sort of the Fortnite kind of style and bloom, and then you have the sort of Gears of War aspect, and obviously the Search and Destroy, which is very COD, Valorant, CS:GO. I think it's a great blend, and I know Doc, you've been playing for a while. You're looking to improve and get better with my fantastic coaching, of course. What is it like as a new player coming to Rogue Company? Because you joined not late, you joined before a lot of people. You joined in closed beta. But halfway through the closed beta, probably I'd say, is when you and I started like getting in contact and talking and stuff. What was it like as a new player coming into the scene, and how do you find the game?
Well, how I heard about the game was actually Jared.
Right.
The game released in July?
July was closed beta.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so it was mid-August, I think, when I first got my eyes on that game. And at first, it looked just like Fortnite. And I despise Fortnite. People are probably going to like hate me for that one, but I can't stand that game.
You're probably okay.
You're all right.
But one of our content creators here at the studio, he's an amazing Fortnite player. For me to hate Fortnite and be able to say that and enjoy watching him, I mean, that tells you something about his skill in that game. But he wanted to start playing Rogue Company here and stream it through the studio. So I had to learn a little bit about the game to be able to direct for him.
Yeah.
And, well, my first time playing that game, he had the Founders Pack, and I played Vi. That was my pick, okay,
Nice.
because I liked her abilities. And my first game, I was just like, I hate this game. Because I'm not used to third-person shooters.
Yeah.
The only third-person games I really play were Assassin's Creed, if that tells you anything, something like that. Watch Dogs.
I suppose I'm so good with the katana and the Ronin ballistic knife.
There you go.
Now clocks. I now understand.
It's making sense now, isn't it?
The highlights.
But yeah, so that was my first experience with the game. But then I watched him play it, and I had to keep going back and playing it a little bit on his account to help him tweak his keybinds and things like that. Back to the coaching thing, back in my competitive days. But then I actually started to gain this respect for it almost. Because I saw how sweaty some of the teams he was going up against, how sweaty they were, and I like the competitive scene. Yeah. And then the squad-based part of it, that was the big thing for me, because going back to my COD days, that was the major thing that I enjoyed about the game. And, I coached, like I said, 3 different teams in COD. And so I started coaching him a little bit. But that was before I really knew core mechanics of the game. I was coaching him more on the strategy of squad-based tactical play, So then I started playing with him during his streams. And then I actually ran into you, Whooped, Chico, the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
And then it went from there. The rest of that. But, the biggest struggle that I had was going from a first-person shooter to a third-person shooter. Yeah. As a new player coming into that would really throw a lot of people off, because like me in the beginning, I hated it. Yeah. Just for that reason alone. But then after I learned how to utilize that to my advantage and incorporate that into strategy, it's just blown up from there. And a lot of that's thanks to you, Rathar. I mean, you coached me. You just pushed me in the right direction so that I would understand it. Because like me looking at it, my mind just wasn't wrapping around it, because I'm stuck in first-person shooter mode. Yeah. I don't peek corners with my camera. I peek corners with, ADS. And my gun sticking out there, and, not realizing half my body is hanging around the corner. Yeah. But since then, I'm almost every time I'm in a strikeout lobby, I'm top frag now. And unless I'm playing with Rathar, of course.
Yeah, then we in sweaty lobbies, and we're all having a tough time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny being on this side of it too. When in July, when I first got my hands on the game, and I sent it to Timberwolf, which is one of our other colleagues. He lives in Florida, and I said, hey, let's try this out. And then, of course, during beta, you've got everybody and their brother in there thinking that they have it all figured out. Yeah. When it's 4v4, and you've got 2 that are communicating and 2 that are just like all over the place, and you kind of get discouraged. You're just like, what are we doing? Do we dismantle the bomb, or do we just kill everybody? Yeah. And so it was tough to try to what's the concept here? We've got we can have this done in 2 minutes, or it could take forever. It depends on how you play it. And so when I introduced it here, I actually went to Little Broface, and I was like, hey, I know you're a big Fortnite guy, but I really want you to try this out. And he of course was game for it, and it was content for us, and plus it was from High Res, and his brother was a big Smite fan, and so it was kind of like, yeah, this is a no-brainer, let's go. But for Doc to just be like, I got this, and just sort of, but it wasn't that smooth in the beginning. He was kind of like scratching his head and like, why did you even introduce this? What are we doing? We should stick to what we know. But it was interesting watching him evolve on this end, approach to a new title, but it was new to everybody. It wasn't a game that's been around. It was brand new this year, and we got our hands on it, and like I said, we were able to gain a quick respect for, what's going on, and now we get to see how High Res is going to develop further, because I know there's an opportunities for Rogue Company to absolutely be an esports title,
100%,
to play on multiple competitive levels.
That was a big thing for me, was how High Res interacts with the community.
Yeah.
Whenever I was on Twitter and I was seeing how they were interacting, this is before I really got into playing the game. I was seeing their interaction. I did some research on it. I saw how new it was, and I saw the development from July till the end of August.
Yeah.
And that kind of built the respect from me for the game itself. And of course I knew High Res because of Smite. I suck at Smite, but I enjoyed it.
I wasn't very good either.
I like the idea and the characters and everything. I'm a big guy on mythology and everything. Nice. But with Rogue Company going into esports, which you just heard our involvement in esports and our interests. I think this game would have so many opportunities for places like what we've got going here, and for children, because one, there's really no gore.
No, there's no bloodsport.
So our youth, you're shooting each other, but there's not blood flying everywhere. There's not things like that. We got the new COD coming out, right? Have you seen a trailer for that, by the way?
I've seen the trailer.
Well, I wouldn't let my kids play that, to be honest with you. It's pretty rough looking, dude. Wow. And that's a lot for me to say. But I'm really excited to see where High Res is going to take it. And I know we just got the news about ranked.
Yes.
Okay, and I know you're excited about ranked.
I'm so buzzing.
I'm excited to watch your team get ranked, to be honest. But I'm excited about ranked, not really for me to gain the rank, but for the community, because I know so many of them have been ready for it. And for High Res to actually listen to the community, this was the big thing for me. High Res wasn't planning on doing ranked this early, were they?
No, they said months in a tweet beforehand, like fairly recently. The word months was used.
Right, and then they just fast tracked it.
Yeah.
And what is it, like a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, probably in the next release, so that would probably be a week or 2 weeks, something in that range, most likely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they listen to the community, and they're building this game, on what the community's feeding them.
Yeah.
Scott Gandhi and the guys, that's their focus. They want to build the game that people want. Okay. In my opinion, that's the right track. That's the way to go, And then whenever esports comes in, with this rank, that's going to help with that. But of course, we're not going to be able to. I doubt they're going to go esports before full release. But this is definitely going to build the foundation for it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good step in the right direction. As you said, we're in open beta now, so we're not even full release, and I don't think orgs are going to put their money on, put themselves behind it until it is a full game.
Exactly.
But you did mention sort of throughout that a lot about like your content and stuff, which is what I want to get into a little bit now. Is tell me a little bit about your content, your streams and stuff. Obviously at JesterLine Studios. Tell me a little bit about that and what your plan is with that and how it's going.
I can tell you how it started, and you can tell them where it's at.
Okay,
so JesterLine Studios actually came about just solely out of anger from COVID.
Okay.
Most concepts are, coming out of, just like, hitting a wit's end, or, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? But when we were, I don't know what the right word is, I guess mandated to shut down local businesses due to quarantine and COVID.
Yeah.
That hurt. That hurt everybody. We as a community, we were feeling for each other and trying to figure out our direction and what to do and what the outcome's going to be. And then there was, fear and, negativity, worry, and doubt, what everybody doesn't want. But for us, it was, okay, well, we rely on the public to come in. We can't have the public come in. So what can we do in the meantime? Well, we actually came up with a 3-week Rocket League event called the Corona Cup. We just just took advantage of it, and that was our first shot at Twitch. As a team, as JesterLine's concerned, but Ryan's had experience in the past, and we've had some other individuals that has experience with tournaments, and so we just put it all together, and we did this 3-week event, and it was successful. It was successful in our eyes, and it was one of those, hey, let's talk about this. If this is going to stick around, if we can't have people come in, let's just stay indoors, and here we go. So here at JesterLine, we have an event room that we use for parties or private events, birthdays, and things like that. And so as an organization, we decided to convert this party room into a studio, and that's just what we did. So we took some budget money and we took some ideas, and we got together and had a couple meetings, and boom, it was born. So that's how it came about. That's how it started. But the flow has actually been, a wild ride. What we've been doing, and that's where Doc comes in.
Yeah. To give you a little bit about my past with Twitch TV, 6 years ago, I started a Twitch account. And within 6 months, I was streaming to 2,000 viewers.
Wow.
And it was just weird how it all came about. It was sheer dumb luck, I think. I was streaming from my Xbox. I was actually streaming Farm Simulator.
Nice.
And
most popular game on Twitch.
But there was a midnight release of this a game they ported over called Mountain Blade Warband, and I somehow I caught it. They didn't really announce it, or anything like that, and I caught it and picked it up. Did a 12-hour stream, started at midnight and went all the way to noon the next day, and held almost 2,000 viewers the whole time because I was the only one streaming that game from the Xbox. For a long time, and so that was my big kickoff on Twitch, but. How I brought that in here, that was, like I said, 6 years ago. Coming in here, I came in on the Rocket League tournament because one of the guys that was running the brackets and stuff, he needed some art. He's a buddy of mine, family friend. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll do some art for you, no charge. I'll help you out with whatever you need. Well, then I met Jared, they liked my art. We just kind of hit it off, and over the 3-week process, I helped improve the stream, things like that. I brought my knowledge into it with broadcasting and everything, and the software involved from my past with Twitch. Well, then we took it a step further. Like you said, we had a few meetings. We were like, hey, this could work. This is a way we could, still bring gaming to the area. Our first focus was just local, really, and I was completely on board, obviously. But then it's been a wild ride from there. We, like you said, we converted this room into a studio. Getting the equipment was a nightmare with COVID because of shipping times, and you couldn't get anything from overseas. Prices were being gouged here and there. It was a nightmare. We literally had a month. We set ourselves to a deadline of a month to have this set up, and barely made it. And it was just like it was a headache. But he pretty much let me take control of the studio, and it's just which you've got to know me a little bit, Rathar, so you know how my mind works.
Which is dangerous.
It's very dangerous. I think iPad hopped in the stream last night and said that I just I'm like a dementor from Harry Potter. Is what he said.
That's such a great description.
Yeah. It is a good description, I guess. But no, the studio's evolved with our knowledge and with the studio's direction in general. We have a team of content creators. You've actually watched, and you join us about every Monday with Vori Zori on Among Us.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's awesome.
Real life, he's a news anchor. And then he comes here, and it's kind of natural for him.
Yeah.
Because, that's what he does for a job. But then he comes here and gets to cut loose and have fun. So that's an example of what we want to bring to people is just the opportunity like that. And we're open to new content creators all the time. We'd love to have younger people come in, like little Broface, he's 14.
I think we'd be foolish not to keep it open because of, how quickly the whole industry just changes on a daily basis.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah.
So we can't stay stagnant at all.
No, you got to stay progressive. That's one of the big things. One of the things I used to do, I was a business consultant for a few years, and that's one of the things I would teach right away, and I would talk to the businesses about is to be progressive. Stay with the times, don't fall behind. You can't. It's a marathon, and you got to keep going. And that's the same way with Twitch. I mean,
Yes, I know.
You stream. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
And you got to keep going. And lucky for us, we have a team.
Yeah.
We support each other. We trust each other. We ourselves are a small community. And then, we are trying to branch out and bring other content creators in and, just like right now, what we're doing now, we're trying to build a family,
which is brilliant.
That's a big thing for me is family, loyalty, trust, respect, and support.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we are here at JesterLine. We're a family. We support each other, and we want to build this for our youth to promote opportunities and to really focus on them. I mean, that's my pure focus, honestly.
Right.
Is just to give them opportunities, like you said, like I've said. We didn't have that as a kid.
I think it's a maturity thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I still enjoy playing, but I'm not. I watch others now. I like to take a back seat.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's me. I mean, I know everybody's different, but for me, I kind of like to build it and just have others enjoy and learn and grow with that. Just like I had, I grew up with it a different way, but we're also in a different time. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's okay for me to just kind of sit back and watch my kids play with their friends like I did, back in the day. And, we're not trading cartridges anymore. Now we're trading data.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And I kind of, the same concepts there. It's just a different time. And I've accepted that and I'm okay with that. But, to be blessed to bring it on this scale and have my own team, it's just, here we go, let's do our thing. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to take us to the end of the podcast. What I'd like to do at the end is just give you a chance to let everyone know where they can find you, different places that you want them to go and reach out to you for. So if you just want to let everyone know where they can find you.
Well, physically, they can find us on Main Street, Buckhannon, West Virginia. We're open Monday or Tuesday through Saturday. Mm-hmm. We're closed Sunday, Monday. But if not, they can always tune in
at JesterLine Studios
on Twitch
TV.
YouTube's got a few videos as well, and let's see what we got.
Yeah, I'll of course, you'll have the links and things like that.
All the links will be down in the description. Guys, go make sure you check them out. They're awesome. It's so much fun. Really, really good laugh. So I definitely recommend it. Thanks, guys. A massive thank you to the guys over at JesterLine Studios for coming, sitting down on the podcast. I would definitely recommend you go check them out. They're absolutely hilarious. Now though, guys, we're going to move on to the clip of the week, and we're going to have a little look at Slopadopoulos, showing us exactly how Phantom can come in clutch at some higher level play. Here we see Slopadopoulos left in a 1v4 situation. He's got the bomb planted down with a cheeky spot overlooking it on Windward. One headshot going down, lining up the second one across the zip. Hits a third shot but doesn't quite get the kill. Third shot going down, getting 3 downs. Just him versus Saint. His teammates opinion that he's there, but he has to watch this bomb. Saint's on the bomb, misses one shot. Can he get this before the bomb fuse goes down? The bomb detonates, and that's the clutch for Slopadopoulos. really showing us there exactly how Phantoms can be played in these high level plays. Great job to him and really good clutch to win that round in the scrim. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of RogueCast. And if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the weekly podcast episodes that come out. And if you want to see more content from me, I post daily guides here on YouTube for Rogue Army to help you guys improve. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that as well. All the links you need for everything are down in the description below. But for now guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.